Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vincent Tan speaking. This time, I'm going to talk about air handler this switch setting, which is here. And this air handler belongs to condenser unit. Here we call it Unix. Meanwhile, I also provide the corrected subtitle just for your better understanding.
Next, we go to the air handler high ESP model, and this is the PCB of the air handler. Here is the jumper cat. The purpose of this one is to identify which case, the smaller one or the bigger one. And also there are SA1 and SA2. SA1 still it is reserved, and for the SA2, the first step is the same to identify the capacity. Either it is 24K or 36K. For the bigger case, it is 48K or 60K. As for the second to the fourth step, it is to identify the ESP, and I just put the information here just for your reference. Also the same, the higher level also means it can get a higher fan RPM, which is to ensure the higher ESP. Also similar to the new release D series high ESP model, and this is the PCB. The jumper cat locates here. Also the same to identify smaller case or bigger case. As for the this switch locates here. SA1 also reserved, and please keep no change unless otherwise stated. As for the SA2, the same. The first step is to identify the capacity. The second to the fourth step is to change the ESP setting. For the air handler, we apply the LED blinking, which is the traditional measures to display the status or the error codes. First, you need to find out where is the LED, and then from the color, you indicate different meanings. And I just put the information here for your reference. And for the power, it is red, and for the running, it is green. Also light on, light off, and also the flash with different meanings. For the malfunction information, which is the error code, we apply the flash times to display different meaning. And here also I put the error codes here just for your information. On site, you need to count how many times it flash or blinking. 1, 2, or 4, or 6 means different error code. This slide displays the attention up during ESP setting. First is to calculate the ESP, which is the pressure drop, and you need to check the long test ductwork for the calculation, and during that we recommend to make the ductwork to be as straight as possible. This can lower this pressure drop. And next is to check the fan motor current, just like this. Use a current meter to check the current during the operating, and just ensure this value is less than our max current. Otherwise, it will make the fan motor to be overheating or overcurrent, and also leads to the air handler fan to stop. And some customer also advise to lower this ESP for lower the noise, but for this one, please never do that, because if the local pressure drop is higher than the air handler, the ESP setting, it will also, just like what I have introduced, it will lead to this overheat or the overcurrent of the fan stop. And if the fan stop, then it will there's no warming or no error codes in the display. This table is for 30K air handler D series. You need to follow your local pressure drop to select the suitable ESP. And this is the consequence if the ESP is not high enough. And you find that if the fan motor stop, it will lead to the cooling, makes it to be loss of the ice, and also the outdoor unit you can find here. and also the pie. There are lots of the frogs. And here is a detailed example. And for example, just after the duct work, you have detected the pressure drop is about this value. And on this table is this one. And then all you can use is this part. And also the at least level 6 is required for this case. That's all for this sharing. If you still have any other question, just feel free to contact me on my personal email address. Hasta la próxima!